I'm Coco. Thank you so much for visiting my channel. If I don't know you personally, I am an art teacher, a crafter, and a costumer. I decided to start this channel as just a fun way to document the things that I work on, the events that I go to, and the people that I work with. So if costuming and crafts and costume events are of interest of yours, please consider subscribing. And if you're wondering why I'm dressed up as a mushroom, if you're a crafter like me, this is undoubtedly your favorite time of year, the month of October. And I figured since I'm going to be putting out a couple more videos before the end of the month, it would just be a fun excuse to pull out some of my previous year's costumes and wear them in the videos. If you have any questions or comments about anything that I'm wearing, please leave a comment below and I will try to respond as soon as possible. Now, I didn't specifically plan this, but this is an amazing time for me to start my channel because not only is it Halloween, it's the 50th annual parade in New York City, and I have been given the absolute privilege of filming behind the scenes of how it all comes together and how the puppets are made. I've had the honor of speaking with the Artistic Director of the parade, Jeanne Flemming, as well as the rest of the hardworking crew at the Processional Arts Workshop. For the next 2 weeks, I'll be visiting the construction barn to film a little bit behind the scenes about how the famous Halloween puppet performances come together. I'll also be speaking with the talented people who devote their time and energy every year into creating this fantastic parade. And hopefully I won't get in their way too much. This year I'll actually be filming from inside the parade as well, so if you're curious about what it's like to walk in the front of the largest Halloween parade in the world, stay tuned for my video that'll be posted the week following Halloween. If you're interested in joining or supporting the parade, you can go to the following website. You can get tickets to skip the line, have VIP seating to watch the parade, you can be in the front of the parade, and you can even buy tickets to ride on a float in the parade. I will be doing a longer video that includes me making my costume, my experience being in the parade, as well as some more specific details about the lead up to the parade. However, in this video, I meet with Sophia Michahelles, who is the co-director of the Processional Arts Workshop and master puppet builder. She discusses this year's theme of the parade. I also have a quick tour with the artistic director and all-around gem of a human being, Jeanne Flemming, where she shows me a couple of the previous year's puppets. And then I have a visit with Tobias, who's the associate producer of the parade, who discusses the lovely background of the Grand Marshal float for this year.
This is where all the old puppets are, and this is Fox. These are babies that were part of another thing. This is Rasputina. She's paper mache. I don't know how she made it.
But her hair is...
Her hair is just twine.
Twine, yeah.
So this is the elephant. This is all the parts of the elephant. Who you see here opens, and a bunch of people come, and we pass all the puppets down through that door. And then they go into the ox barn to get repaired if they needed repairs. A lot of them were remade with lighter materials because originally they were all on trees. When we first started making puppets, we didn't have access to bamboo, we didn't have rattan, we didn't have all these different materials. And so it was trees that were the poles, the arms, the legs, everything was trees. Here are Rasputinas. You asked what their bodies were like. Here they are. This is the cellos that were their bodies. And then they had, you can see.
I see this is bamboo, and bamboo is perfect because it's so light. Bamboo, it's such a good staff.
By that time, you see,
what is this made of?
These are just cardboard painted.
Huh.
Or lightweight. They're cardboard. Yeah, because these are old. These are cardboard. Before we had other things to work with. And you'll see the whale. I think the whale is still here. The whale had to be taken out of the parade because it seemed to drive people crazy. The whale would escape from the parade. It would actually literally leave the parade, much of the horror of the police and everything, and it would go out from the parade, and it did it to everybody. We changed the puppeteers, so that the next year the same people weren't doing it, and we'd figure they wouldn't go crazy, but they did. The whale was always jumping out of the parade. It became such a menace, we had to stop letting it come. And these are all the cabinets, and in each one is a creature or a part of a creature. So you see a head, then you see a tail, a body, and these all would mix up in the parade. And then on cue, there's always a performance. On cue, they would straighten themselves out, and but in a funny way. So you'd see the head of a lion with the body of a frog, with the legs of something else, and they changed constantly in the parade. I think there are 40 of them. So we do that every block in the parade. Every block there's a performance, and it resets. Oh, and these are cool. Look at this. See these? These are Ralph Lee's puppets. They're the only thing we have from the days of Ralph Lee. But one of the things we had to raise money. So I asked him to make these guys. They're called the Money Grubbers. And what they were puppets. And there was a crew of 12 people. And people threw money in their mouths. And they would reach out over the crowd, and people would throw money in their mouths. And that's how we would raise the money for the parade. In the old days. This is really the old days. This is still how we line up the parade. The pumpkin numbers, and these are very old. I think Anya painted them 40 years ago. Part of the idea is to keep everything going, because that's part of Lou Reed's song. He's inviting back the spirits. So for me, it's very important that as many of the spirits, and everything from the beginning is there. And even though it doesn't look like it, a pumpkin number that's been there for 40 years matters.
Hi, I'm Sophia Michahelles, and I'm co-director of Processional Arts Workshop. My co-director Alex may appear in a few moments, but we are a small nonprofit, and we create site-specific parades, processions, performances in public space. And we got our start working for the Village Halloween Parade in New York City 25 years ago. The parade was started in 1974 by Ralph Lee, who was a puppeteer and an amazing theater artist. And he started as a small, I think there were probably a couple hundred people, performance procession through the streets of Greenwich Village. And so puppets were very much part of that. And so in a way, we've inherited that tradition and can keep that alive. What you see behind me is that we design a theme performance that establishes the theme at the head of the parade for the other tens of thousands of people behind the puppets. We had been thinking a lot about what to do. Jeanne Flemming, the director of the parade, said the theme was going to be inside out, upside down, and really marking this feeling of like our back to normal is not quite normal. And we were thinking about that and trying to kind of interpret that in our own way. We started really thinking about mirrors and the idea of mirrors reflecting, like we're sort of reflecting on our 50 years, but also how mirrors promise to show us reality, but in a way, immediately it's flipped, so we know that there's something wrong. And if you've read Through the Looking Glass, you know that actually it really isn't quite as it seems back there. And so thinking about mirrors as a way for us to interpret the theme of upside down, inside out. From this idea of mirrors, we started imagining a broken mirror. Shards of mirror, 50 shards. On the outskirts of this, we're going to have these other characters, which are the sweepers. And the sweepers, you can see in our wall behind us, these are the original sweepers that were designed by Ralph Lee. I don't think they were part of the first parade, but they were definitely part of the early parades. They played a really important role, which is that they swept the street clean of the everyday energy, the car energy, the sort of bad vibes. I just love the image of these sweepers, and that was a way of recognizing Ralph Lee's work. And so we're recreating them not as stilters, but as 15-foot tall puppets. And the shards that looked somewhat random, different pieces, actually have been carefully designed so that they do all fit together in an M.C. Escher-esque way. And so all 50 shards will find their position and recreate this giant mirror.
These are the vinyl sides for the Grand Marshal Laurie Anderson float. They are painted in the style of Laurie Anderson. She does some amazing, amazing art and has a very loose chalk boards kind of style. We've taken her style and we've put in some of the very iconic Halloween symbols. The flower is based off a flower that Laurie Anderson did. This is labeling. She will be up on the platform here, and it says Grand Marshal Laurie Anderson in memory of Lou Reed. And then we've got the snake, which is a Halloween standard. See you next year at the Halloween parade. That is from the song, Lou Reed's song, Halloween Parade, and part of the concept of this whole thing. You know, as we talked about before, we're inviting spirits of people that we've lost to come and join us. And you will see occasionally some names on the side of the float. They are people who were very important to the parade or who very much love the parade, who we are calling to. There's also going to be spirit poles that Ellie designed and is creating that has names of many, many people who we've lost over time that will be flying them and inviting these spirits to join us. The astronaut is a Laurie Anderson icon, and she uses this image a lot. She was actually an artist in residency at NASA. This is the front of the float. The blue tape is just showing approximately where it gets cut out to make room for the hitch so that they can pull the float. And then this side is a reverse of the other. The Lou Reed drones, this is because on the front platform will be 3 or 4 of Lou Reed's actual guitars with amplifiers, and that's going to be creating a feedback drone sound. And then Laurie will be standing with her electric violin playing over that. We'll also hear Lou Reed's voice, the vocal track from the song Halloween Parade will be playing. Grand Marshal Laurie Anderson in memory of Lou Reed. That will be on this side where Laurie will be on the platform playing her violin. And that's what we're working on here in this beautiful space.
Thank you so much for watching my video, and if this type of content is interesting to you, please consider subscribing. You can also follow me on Instagram at Coco Marie Rose, and you can follow me on TikTok at Coco Rose Art. If you have any specific questions for me or the team, please leave them in the comments below, and I will do my best to answer those in the next video. And if I don't see you before Halloween, happy crafting, happy costuming, and I hope to see you at the parade.